Hi guys, Sammy C here,
Hi guys, this is Edwin from Edwin's Adventures.
and today we will be ranking the Universal Orlando, Florida rides.
Yes, I'm really excited to do this.
Me too.
We'll
We're
see if
gonna,
we agree or not.
yeah, I feel like it's gonna be an ultimate battle.
Oh, most definitely.
All right, guys. So today we will be ranking the Universal Orlando, Florida rides into tiers from A, B, C, D, and we're just gonna give our opinions as we go about the rides. So hopefully we don't make too many enemies.
Yes. And how we're going to do it is like A is going to be like our favorite have to ride rides. B is going to be like great rides, but it would be more like our second choice rides before like we would have to ride after our favorites. C would be like okay rides. It would be okay if we miss them, or like we would only ride with like a first timer, like they have never rode it before.
Yeah.
And then D is I don't care for rides.
Yes, and to make it a little bit more difficult, we did restrict ourselves to putting only 3 rides in each tier. And then we, at the end, we'll have one extra ride and we can decide which tier that ride would go into. I love how the first ride we're getting into is our most controversial ride. Okay, so we're gonna go just kind of down the list of how they're on here, but the first one is ET. And this is we're just jumping right into it because this is the one ride that me and
That we
Junior,
both disagree on.
yes, we strongly disagree about this ride. Like it's almost fighting terms.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I am a huge fan of ET. It is definitely one of my favorite rides. It's one of the classics. It's everything about it. The sound, the smell, everything.
Yes, ET, I will say this, ET is the only original ride left in that park. The only one that has withstand time.
Yes, and if y'all watched our vlog where we just kind of talked about ourselves, I kind of explained how ET is so important to me that I have to ride it every single time I go, not just because I like it, but because I feel like if I ride it every single time, I'm helping it out in some way and the ride will stick around forever. Now I know eventually they're probably going to get rid of it, sadly, but for now, they better not touch ET because that is definitely an A tier ride for me. So we're gonna go ahead and put ET up here. And now we're gonna give the one who doesn't have a sense of mind his chance to
Who?
rate ET.
It's clearly not me. It's clearly not me because I have this one. Okay, so ET, I would definitely, it is a good ride.
It's a great
It
ride.
really is. But if I was to put, the rides in order, definitely would not be a ride, not be a B ride or a C ride. It would be a D ride because what it is to me is a good ride to either sit in the AC to relax and to just have a quiet time.
Yes, but that's what makes it great in the same sense.
We'll see. Yeah, so I would definitely have to put it in the D tier. I'm gonna be nice and give it to the first spot in D tier.
Not good enough. It's just not good enough. But
That's
eventually
what
I'll
I
change your
say.
mind. Eventually
That is
I'll change
exactly
your
what I
mind.
say on the ride. Not good enough.
Anyways, on to the next one. Okay, so the next one is Fast and Furious.
The best ride in the whole park.
Sure.
Clearly an A tier A1 ride. Fast and the Furious. You get to party with family.
Family?
Like, yeah. You don't turn your back on family.
Okay, so the queue, yes, the queue is nice for this ride.
Yes, it
the
really
actual
is.
ride, I don't
It's a
know. Like
letdown.
I feel like
It
if
really
they
is a letdown.
with them making a Fast and the Furious ride, I feel like it should have had more thrill to it than what they
Mhm.
gave it. Like, I feel like it would have been so much cooler if it was like a roller, like an indoor roller coaster or something, and you could
Yeah,
like you were in one of the cars or something. Like that would
kind
be,
of like Hagrid's is like kind of like on the
yeah,
motorbike. If they would have it like you were in the car driving on a roller
yeah.
coaster.
I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of that one. Um, and I'm gonna have to say that I'm gonna have to put that in D. It's like the queue's okay. The ride is not good to me. So it's a
Okay.
D. It's a D.
Um, I think the queue saves it a little bit. Now the ride to me is a severe like severely disappointment.
Mhm.
I mean, I like the movie franchise. I like the queue. Again, I would say that this ride would be more like a relaxing, like you need to sit down and
Yeah.
get some air, whatever. Then I would put it in a C ride as a C category.
Okay. And
Uh,
oh no,
Very
no,
small.
don't give it
Oh,
that much
yeah,
prep. Ooh.
yeah,
And another thing about Fast and Furious, I think, is it's a big letdown because a lot of people come to the parks for the first time that hadn't watched POVs and stuff like that, hadn't heard nothing about it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Fast and Furious, that's got to be a thrill ride. That's got to be so much fun." And
like
then
the
you get on
fastest
it,
ride ever made. Yeah,
and then you get on it, and it's like, "Ugh." So I feel like it's
yeah,
a lot, and
also,
then it's always got a long wait time. So I feel like people get off that ride for their first time, and they're like, "That was a complete
yeah,
waste of my time. I could have went and rode
yeah.
something else."
And to hop back on the queue and everything, like once you go into the garage and you have the employee that is just like immersive, like interactive, like they pretend like you're actually in the story and that with the video call and everything, like
Yeah.
they really get into that.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
so next ride is Gringotts. Okay, so this one we will agree on.
I agree on.
A
Yeah,
100%
most definitely.
agree. Like I would even we it may even be in the same exact spot.
Yeah,
Um, I love Gringotts, obviously. Any Harry Potter ride is great.
anything Harry Potter.
Yes, and just the everything about Gringotts, the scenes, it's just everything. Everything about it is
Yeah,
just perfect.
and the one thing about Gringotts is you actually have to go into Diagon Alley. Like that's just
Yeah.
like so you're already immersive into that
Hmm.
world. But then once you walk into Gringotts, it's like you're walking into that whole scene of like walking through the
Yes.
bank and it's really amazing. Like I can't like that feeling of like amazement and like, oh
Hmm.
my God, like I'm in the Harry Potter world never goes away.
Yes, because I will say that every probably except for I'd maybe leave out Flight of the Hippogriff, but every single Harry Potter ride has a great queue that just
Yeah,
pulls you in so much before you even get on the ride. It's
yeah,
just it's breathtaking, like you said. It's
yes,
amazing, and just the when you walk into the bank and just the high ceilings and the marble
yeah,
everywhere, and you actually see the goblins and all that kind of stuff, and it's just like it's so great. It's so great. So I'm gonna
yeah.
say that
Like,
Gringotts is an A tier, and not only
yeah,
that, but it is my number one, and it's gonna stay there. There's no doubt
yeah,
in my mind it's gonna stay there.
and it it's one thing is like when you can remember your first time riding that ride and walk through
Yes.
the queue like that, you can tell you or that will tell you that that is an amazing ride. And
Yes.
I would have to agree, it would be my A1 spot. Like
Yeah.
it's really amazing.
And we had said this in our get to know us video, but Gringotts is probably the best ride between Islands of Adventure and Universal Orlando for single riders.
Yes.
So
One thing I would always advise you, if you have a big group and it's been your first time, yes, don't go through senior riders. Go to the queue, wait in the line because you
yes,
will
because
be
it will take
immersed and
you
you will see
past.
a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it will
Now,
make you go past a lot of the queue if
yeah,
you go through single riders, though.
but if you are either with yourself or if you're with like one or two other people and you're okay with the possibility of getting separated, go through single riders and it will basically be a walk on or maybe a 5 minute wait. But usually it is always a walk on.
Yeah,
And then a lot of the times, single riders, yes, you have the possibility of being separated, but there are times where you will be seated together.
it happens a lot.
It happens.
Yeah. And another
And
thing to keep in mind with green dots that I haven't thought about mentioning before till now, um, there is a lot of stairs inside of that ride.
oh, yes.
You will climb several staircase throughout your time being in line. And if you do go in single riders and you get the walk ride on, you're going to be out of breath by the time you get up there because you have to walk all the steps at
Yeah,
one time.
mirrors,
You're not pacing
yeah,
yourself. Now they do have, I believe, I might be wrong about this, but I know like Men in Black and stuff does. They may have an elevator, so just make sure
I believe they do.
if you if you are handicapped, make sure you check all those precautions before you get in the line for that. All right, so the next one is the Hogwarts Express. Now we did only put that on this one. We did not put it on the other ones because we feel like there's no need to rank it twice. And the main train station is in Universal Orlando, Florida.
Yes. The
So
King's Cross Station.
yes, King's Cross Station, and it is excellent even when you're walking through all the things you can look at. And then the there's a spot where you can actually walk through platform 9 3/4, which is pretty cool. So make sure if you have a friend or something with you that they go in after you and they record that beautiful moment for you, because that is it's really makes you feel like you are going to Hogwarts. Like it's just
Yes.
amazing. And then when you're on the ride, I don't want to spoil too much for people, but when you're on the ride, you can actually watch out the window and you can see some of the familiar places that you see in the films. And not only that, but pay attention to the door, because just like in the
Yes.
movies, the doors are glass and it's like they're like that fogged
Kind
kind
of
of
like,
looking
yeah,
glass.
like the fog, like, but it you can still see like our tail from the shadows of like coming
Yes.
through like who the
So
character is, and it's
some
kind of like a
familiar
sneaker dog.
characters and stuff will happen outside of your door. So you'll be able to hear and see that. So just make sure you're paying attention to both sides. I've Now the only problem with that is that it's always a long wait. You have to have a park to park pass to ride it because it takes you to the other park. Um,
Yeah,
so I enjoy it, but once I've rode it like 1 or 2 times, I would say at least 2 times from each park to the other. So
yeah,
like two
I can say
times
that.
from
Yeah,
Universal to Islands of Adventure. That way you can like watch the window one time and watch the door the next time
yeah,
and do it both ways, because the scenes are
yeah.
different depending on which park you're going to. Um, but then other than that, to me, if you go a lot after you've rode it a few times, it's easier to just walk from one park to the other. And I know that sounds like a lot of walking, but honestly, it sometimes the wait can be like over an hour to ride the Hogwarts Express, and walking will only take 5 minutes. And I'm not even joking with y'all. It literally only takes 5 minutes. Don't
Yeah.
think, oh, that's a long walk, because it's not.
Yeah. And I will say for this one at least, if it's not a long wait and you are getting to where you're overheated or you don't have a lot to drink, or if you're like sweating or hot or whatever,
Yeah.
try for the Hogwarts Express. If the wait is not that long,
Yes.
because you will sit there, you can sit down in a little bit of AC and try to cool off and relax.
And let me mention something else. When you're talking about the cooling off and relaxing part, this is one of the select few things you can bring a drink onto. So you can go
Yes.
grab you a butter beer or whatever fizzy lifting drink, whatever is I said fizzy lifting drink, and that's Willy Wonka. Sorry, you can tell what I've watched recently. But you can get whatever pumpkin juice, whatever your type of drink is, or you can get you an alcoholic drink, and you can go get in line. You can drink your drink in line. You can drink
Yeah.
it on the Hogwarts Express. So It's a nice
And
thing if you've never experienced it.
yeah, and I kind of just might be coming off topic a little bit, but since we're on the topic of being overheating or like wanting to cool off and being AC,
Mhm.
we're hitting the times of summer and hurricane season and everything. I just want people to make sure that they stay hydrated and cool off whenever they can because the temperatures we are in Florida. So it's gonna be hot in the summertime. It is gonna be busy. So there's gonna be the wait times are gonna be longer than usual. So just please, please, please stay hydrated. Cool off when you can. Sit down when you can. And you can be able to make it to where you can have a better time in the parks without having to feel like you're overheating or if you're dehydrated.
Yes, and to add 2 things onto that also while we're talking about that, because it is a very important topic, a lot of those queues, when they do get long lines because of summer, they do extend out into the sun. So you could be standing
Yes.
in the sun for a long time. So if you need to, grab you some water or something before you go get into the queue. And keep in mind that even if you don't have the refillable cup or you haven't like um refreshed your refills or anything like that, you can still get water for free from any of the kiosks. And you can also walk up to any kiosk and ask for a free cup of ice water if you don't have a cup at all. And they will give you a free cup of ice water. You can get as many as you want. We've walked up sometimes and got like 4, and it'd only be 2 of us just because we're that thirsty. Because they're like little plastic cups of ice water. So just keep that in mind.
Right.
So Hogwarts Express, I'm going to put it in C tier because I would ride it again. Even though I've rode it a few times, I would definitely ride it again. But it's not like I would rather walk from park to park just because it's quicker and I like to
Yeah,
maximize my
because
time.
yeah, there are times to where it's like I'm tired, I'm like overheating and everything, so I want to just sit
Yeah.
there and relax and cool off. But there are other times where it's like I want to eat and drink as
Yeah.
much as I can. So I kind of was like, get that mindset of, hey, I'm losing, calories, so I can afford to, eat or drink more. So yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree with you with the walking thing. And I would actually also agree with you on where to place it at in the C tier, but I'll put it right there behind Fast and
Okay.
Furious.
Yeah, I feel that. Okay, so the next one, now Junior, you might have to help me out with the name of this because to be
Yeah,
honest, everyone calls it their own thing.
yeah.
So it's hard to remember exactly, but I believe it's Twirl and Hurl. Twirl and Hurl?
So I usually call it the Simpsons Hurl and Twirl.
Okay.
Now I'm going to pull up the actual name because I do want to get it right. Um, since you're going to put me on the spot here,
Yeah,
because
well,
yeah,
I'm putting myself on the spot too. A lot of people call this their only some people just call it the Simpsons Alien Ride, someone call it the Alien
yeah,
Saucer Ride, like, but
yeah. So the actual name is Kangen Kudos Twirl and Hurl.
Twirl and Hurl. So I just didn't remember the names at the beginning. So that ain't
Yeah,
too bad. Okay,
Kangen Kudos.
so that ride. Okay, so I feel like this is like a downgrade of Dumbo. But and then you have One Fish, Two Fish over in Islands Adventure, and I know this is a different park, but I can't help but to compare it to that. At least on One Fish, Two Fish, if you get hot, you can get sprayed with water. And to be honest, it's bigger too. Like I think the loop, like the big spin loop, is bigger than that one. This one is like if you got a little kid that can hardly ride any rides, then yeah, it's a cute little ride for kids.
Yeah.
But it's not the best.
It's just the theming of the Simpsons and everything is
Yes,
what to me kind of saves it a little bit.
yeah. And it does kind of have a like how we said on our other video if you watched it with when it comes to One Fish, Two Fish, that it kind of sings to you and it tells you when to go up and when to go
Yeah.
down to keep yourself from getting wet if you don't want to. So it's kind of like a game. Well, Twirl and Hurl kind of has something like that too, but instead of water, it's like these little bullseye like signs. that kind of flip in and out at times. And so as you're going around, you're supposed to try to be level with them. So you technically hit them. Because you're just trying to hit as many targets as you can. It don't keep score or anything, but it's a little side game. So that a lot
Yeah.
of people don't think about whenever you're riding, that that's something you're trying to do.
Yeah, I feel that.
So with that being said, I'm going to put it in D tier. And I'm gonna put it behind Fast and Furious, just because at least Fast and Furious has a good queue. So yeah.
Okay, I can see that. So I might make you happy a little bit.
Okay.
A little bit.
Oh, come on.
I will put it in the D tier behind E tier.
Okay. Okay. I'll take what I
Okay.
can get. I'll take what I can
Yeah, because it's still staying in D.
get. Okay. So next we have Jimmy Fallon. This is a ride that we disagree on also. Not as
But
strongly
not
as
too
we do
bad.
with, yeah, not as bad as we do with ET. ET, we're on completely north and south poles.
Yeah.
But Jimmy Fallon, we're kind of in the, I don't know. We disagree a good bit compared.
I think more about the storyline
Yeah,
than anything.
yeah. So I like Jimmy Fallon. I like all rides, but uh, Junior's very particular about his rides. I like
Yeah, so
everything.
again, I will say this every single time. I'm more of a thrill ride,
Yeah.
roller coaster ride, or a water ride. Because I mean, you can because most of the time roller coasters are thrill rides, but that's not to say that thrill rides are roller coasters.
Yeah.
So I like to separate it into three: thrill, roller coasters, and water rides. Now, Jimmy Fallon is a good ride. I will ride it. It's just the storyline just doesn't make sense. How are you racing through New York and then end up on the moon? Like,
It don't
I just
have to make
maybe
sense
it's just my
though.
my mind. Maybe I'm disappointing Walt Disney and my imagination. Because this
Yeah.
figment, man, this figment just doesn't go there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah. With Jimmy Fallon's, I love Jimmy Fallon's. I love the idea of the ride. I love the storyline. I think it's quirky and just
yeah,
it's
yeah.
fun.
So like, I like the storyline until it goes to the moon. It's just
Yeah. And I
yeah,
like the queue. The queue is nice. It's a nice cold place to kind of like just hang out for a
yes.
minute. Like you don't
The
even have to be
queue,
honest. And it's not like other queues where if you go in, you will automatically have to get in line. No, it's this big open room when you first walk in with all kinds of different late night show, historic stuff. And
yeah, like you
so
actually
you could
feel
just
like
go
you're
in there
actually
and
in
walk
the building.
around and look. You don't even have to ride the ride. And then
Yeah.
another thing is whenever you get farther into the queue, you get into this room with a bunch of seats and stuff, and you can sit down and rest in there. But if there is a wait, now almost every time I've rode it, it's been like early in the morning, so I haven't had a wait. So I haven't got to experience this yet, but I've heard about it and I've seen people talk about it. That if there's an actual wait, they give you like this card. I believe it's a color. Like each card is a color, and you wait until they call your color, and then that's how you get into line. Um,
Okay.
I have yet to experience that yet, but
Yeah.
is that way you're not technically standing in line the whole time. You can go sit down on the benches, you can still look at all other stuff.
Because usually when I go there, I just like walk directly into
Yeah,
the where it has like the bars, and you sit there watching the I
yeah.
guess the pre show screen and tells you
Mhm.
to applaud. So
Now, okay, so this is I mean, it's still talking about Jimmy Fallon, but I have to say one thing. There was one I I do have one disappointment about it, and not everyone's gonna
uh-huh.
understand my disappointment or why it's even a disappointment, but I was really disappointed that Jimmy Fallon's best friend did not make an appearance in the ride because I was waiting on Justin Timberlake to pop out somewhere. And like,
Okay.
I honestly, and the thing is, and y'all don't come at me, I'm not an NSYNC fan. Okay. I mean, I'm a boy band fan. Like, obviously, that was one of my favorite time frames. but I was a Backstreet Boys fan instead of NSYNC fan. Y'all can come at me in the comments all y'all want. Tell me if you're Backstreet Boy or NSYNC. I don't care. But I do love Justin Timberlake. And I love seeing Jimmy Fallon and Justin Timberlake interact together because they really are best friends in real life. And it just, I was a little disappointed.
How you wanted Justin Timberlake to be with Jimmy Fallon, I am similar to where I would love the ride more if he was with Queen Latifah. Because I grew up
like if she popped
Jimmy
up in
Fallon.
A taxi, like
Yeah.
in the chasing scene,
Yeah.
Like she should have been in that taxi. She should have been driving that taxi.
Yeah, because I
didn't even think about that.
How I found Jimmy Fallon, or how I grew up on Jimmy Fallon, was from the movie that he starred in with Queen Latifah, named Taxi, where he was a police officer, she was a taxi driver, and they stopped bank robbers.
Think about that.
Like, I would love that. Like,
so if they ever,
like, that would be like in my A's.
So in other words, if they ever change it, they should add in more celebrities. Is what we're pretty much agreeing on. That would have made the ride a lot better.
Queen Latifah with a Ford Crown Vic, taxi. Like,
okay,
yeah,
I can see that. Okay, so I'm going to put Jimmy Fallon's. I know you're not going to agree with me, but I'm going to add him to my B tier. He isn't first right now, but he's not. He probably ain't going to stay there, but he is going to go in B tier for me.
So I would have to say B tier, but when I came into this, or when we came to this ride, I thought I had my idea set on where I wanted to put him in the B tier. Now I'm trying to decide, because I was gonna, full honesty, I was gonna put him B3.
Okay.
But I'm trying to figure out
place in B tier. Okay.
If I should put him B1 or B3.
Okay. See, getting you talking about Taxi Driver made you think.
Yeah, made me think if maybe I need to do a strongly worded email or a strong protest to NBC Universal to make them update the ride of Queen Latifah and a Ford Crown Vic taxi.
Yeah.
Okay. B1 or B3?
How about we just stick it in B and then we can figure it out as we go?
Yeah, okay. I can roll with that.
Because I might just have you a little excited. You might get to it and you might be like, nah. Okay, so next is Men in Black. And I really thought we was going to kind of like disagree more on Jimmy Fallon. But I know for a fact, that we almost disagree as much for Men in Black as we do E.T. Now, before I even start discussing, I want y'all to take a few seconds and guess who you think likes Men in Black and who you think doesn't like Men in Black, because I feel like it's very obvious, especially if you've watched our other vlogs. But if you haven't and you don't really know us, you just kind of getting in now, I want you to take a second and think about that, because
comment down below on who you think.
I want to see who's right, and no cheating either. Okay.
Yeah.
We know if you cheat.
We see everything.
So, Men in Black, it's amazing. Okay. It's amazing. And I don't care what you say, you're not changing my mind on this. Men in Black, I love immersive rides. So, like, I love Men in Black. I love Toy Story Mania at Disney. Like, any kind of ride where you get to play a game while you're at it, and when you're competing against your friends. See, I'm a competitive person. If I can beat your butt, see, I said butt that time. I didn't say the other one.
Progress.
But if you can beat your friends' butts, it's like it's a 10 times better ride. Like that's what makes me. And also, it's one of those games or one of those rides that you could ride it a million times and you're still learning. Okay, this gets me more points. This and this and this. Yeah. Like, it's one of those rides you will go home and research how to get more points. Just go back and beat your friends next time. And me and Junior have yet to ride it together. And I told him I'm going to change his mind on this, but I am going to beat his butt, and I can't
So
wait.
I will say I will agree with you that every time you write it, you will have a different outcome
Yeah.
because you know how the game is or the how the ride is set up on
Mhm.
like more of a game aspect, and there are secrets to make you get more points and everything.
Mhm.
Now I will consider this kind of similar. Well, it really is similar to Toy Story Mania. Now I'm
The
not
Buzz
saying
Lightyear ride, the Buzz Lightyear ride. That's the one it's more
yeah,
like, but it is
yeah.
similar to both. Yeah.
So I would not say I don't hate that type of ride, but it's definitely not my favorite. But
Because he's
I
not
would.
any good at them secretly.
Oh, okay. I could I could tear your butt up on this ride if I wanted to.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see.
But then again, I would rather ride the Buzz Lightyear or the Toy Story Mania before I would ride this one because I'm just
It's the theming.
it's a theme, and yeah,
Yeah, you're more of a Toy Story person.
yeah.
I love Toy
So
Story. That's Bubba's favorite Disney movie of all time. He's obsessed with Toy Story, especially Woody.
yeah.
He loves Woody. But me, I have a weird obsession with aliens. It's not necessarily Men in Black because I do love Men in Black. It's aliens. I love aliens. So it's just interesting to me. And the animatronics are really cool in this ride. That's the best part too, is you're not shooting at a screen. You're moving through the ride, you're moving through scenes, and in each scene it's like you're moving through kind of like downtown New York, down the back alleys, and there's like animatronic aliens everywhere. It's just amazing. It's great. So I'm going to put Men in Black. No shocker here, but Men in Black is going to go in A tier. Now here's the shocking part about it. I can't. It hurts me. This is like whenever we was doing Islands Adventure, and it hurt me to put Spider-Man in B tier. I have to put it in front of ET.
I would rather ride ET before I would ride that,
What?
and that's saying something.
Wow.
I would rather ride ET before I would ride that.
Okay.
Again, that's saying something because I don't really like ET.
It's just so much fun. It's more immersive, and that's what makes me.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that makes me put it first.
I just I don't know. Maybe it's because I consider that not really a ride. I just think it's more of a game, or like in my head, I guess it's more like a carnival game. And ET, as much as I don't like it, is again, I'm not saying that ET is a bad ride, but it's more a ride than Men in Black in my head.
Once again, if you was good at the ride, you would probably like it better.
I think you're just trying to challenge me.
I am challenging you.
Actually prove it to you so we can ride it.
I am challenging you. We might have to, like, every single vlog where we're in Universal Orlando, we might have to have one round of Men in Black and just.
I don't know about that one. I think you're just trying to try to sneak in a little ride. No.
Okay. Okay.
So I will put it in my D tier behind or after the Furl and Twirl.
Okay, I'll make you a deal. I'll make you a deal. How about every time we go to Universal Orlando, we do Men in Black until you beat me. When you beat me, we don't have to do it no more.
Okay. I will counteroffer you
this. Until then,
we can ride it. We can ride it. We can ride it if you buy me a drink.
Okay. Okay.
Every time.
Wait. How about this? How about this? You got two options. I'll buy you a drink either way. You got two options. We can either ride it once every single time we go until you beat me, or we can do a vlog and we can just do Men in Black all day long until you beat me. We can see how many rounds in a row it takes. It's your choice. Once every trip. I would
rather do
every day?
Once every trip.
Oh, come on. That would be fun.
We can do one every trip, but also you have to buy me a drink every time.
Okay. I can do that. But I do want the fans to comment below if they think you should do a Men in Black challenge with me, where we just ride Men in Black all day until you beat me. If y'all really want to see that, You better like this
So,
video. Like it. We're gonna do
well,
it
if you
based off
keep
of
it up,
likes.
if you keep it up, I can make another challenge for one ride all day. And what do you think it's going to be?
Hmm, I don't know.
The
There's so many.
Simpsons.
Oh God. See how many times we can ride it before we get sick.
Yeah.
Okay, I could do that. So we're gonna base this off of likes. If we can get, let's see, we're still kind of new to this, so we
Yeah.
don't have that
We're
many
kind of new,
followers.
so we can't go deep
So
into it.
let's say if we get to 1,000 likes, when we eventually hit 1,000 likes, we will do the Men in Black challenge. If we get to 1,000 likes on the Men in Black challenge, we'll do the Simpsons challenge. How about that? Okay. Okay. Y'all better be liking it up because I know y'all want to see me beat his
Like,
butt
subscribe, and
again
share, and ring
and
that
again
bell.
and again and again and again.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We keep getting sidetracked. We just
Oh,
talking too much this vlog.
yeah.
Um
Our 80.
okay, so next is Minions. Despicable Me.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out if I should tell my embarrassing story or not on this one.
No, you have to. You have to.
Yeah, I kind of put my foot in my mouth
I
on that
feel
one.
like
Yeah.
we've done made a deal about the liking and the commenting. There ain't nothing else we can make deals about with the
Yeah.
embarrassing story.
Maybe this will get us some more subscribers and likes. So the last time, well, really, honestly, the first time that I wrote it since it changed, in the like the pre-show where they have the people or the minions and everything are like talking to you and the kids and everything, and they're gonna talk about how they're gonna turn you into minions. But there was one point where they were asking about a smell in the that room, and they like pointed out like somebody, and they pointed in my direction, and at the same time that like the second that they were like, "What is that smell?" I farted, and then they were like, "What is that smell?" and they pointed in my direction on
But
the screen.
nobody can judge him because if you're a theme park person, you know that that theme park food will sneak up on you. So I'll
Yeah,
come after anybody
and
who judges him.
it was my first time writing it, and I farted, and not even a half second later, they were like, "What does that smell?" And the kids and the minions were like pointing in my general direction, so not specifically at me, but in my direction. I'm like, "Oh, like that's kind of weird. Like that's embarrassing." Even the program knows that I
Yeah,
let one
they
rip.
knew. They just knew.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh goodness. Okay, so when it comes to minions, I don't know how we're gonna feel compared to each other. But
yeah,
let me okay. It's hard for me to judge minions because I'm a little salty. I'm a little salty when it comes to minions. Because as y'all all know, a bunch of these rides that we have now are replacements of old rides.
yeah.
Refurbishments, stuff like that. For those who didn't know, because y'all are too young for this time. But Minions once was the Jimmy Neutron ride, which was one of my favorite rides of all time. It was actually, instead of the Minions taking you through the training course, it was Jimmy Neutron's rocket ship got stolen by the aliens, and you had to chase after them in another rocket ship. And as you're chasing them, you went through Bikini Bottom with SpongeBob, you went through the Rugrats, you went through Hey Arnold, you went through all those classic 90s Nickelodeon shows. And as me, as a 90s baby, I'm obsessed with. So I am a little salty because I loved Jimmy Neutron and I feel like this downgraded a lot. But there
Yeah.
is a lot of people out there that love Minions. Their kids love Minions, so
Which
they put it kind of high
to
up.
each their own. Yeah.
Me, don't come at me. I feel like I'm hoping this is the first time I kind of upset the followers, but I'm not a
Oh,
Minion
trust me, you
fan.
already upset it though.
Oh
Don't worry.
shush.
Oh,
I'm not a,
don't worry. It's okay.
I'm not a Minion fan.
I'm not either.
Okay, like my daughter Maya, she loves Minions. My wife loves Minions, but I'm not like I'll watch it with them, but Minions just isn't my thing. So it's the theming for me. The theming is what kind of messes it up for me. So don't come at me, but I'm gonna put Minions in D tier. But on my defense, I am going to put it as first
How are you gonna put it before the best ride?
in my D tier. Listen, it's first in D tier. That's the best it's getting. I don't care
So
to ever ride it again, but I would if I
yeah.
absolutely had to.
So again, yeah, I would agree with her that I am not the biggest Minions fan. I would like to blame it on that they embarrassed me my first time writing it, but I can't because it was pretty funny. No, but I mean, I want to say it's because like me growing up, like I never really liked so much of like the cartoon versions of like the animation. Not to say like like Disney, and I'm like I will separate Disney animation from like other shows like The Simpsons, Family Guy, like the Minions and everything.
Yeah.
I only look like for like now that side non Disney animation. I only love The Simpsons, so I just think it's because of that fact. It's just like I would rather real humans and everything.
I feel that.
And I think it's just more childish
Yeah.
for me.
It's
So yeah,
it's
it's just
after our time is what it is.
yeah, like it's just I don't know.
I feel like you have to be a
Um,
certain age when Minions come out to like
yeah,
really, you know, that's like
yeah,
kids now don't really understand our love for old Nickelodeon shows. So yeah, because
which is
they're just odd.
yeah.
I
So,
don't.
but I mean, I will still place it higher than you did. I'd put it in C tier
Okay.
behind the Hogwarts Express because it
Oh,
is a decent ride itself. It's just
okay.
the bug and the theming and the embarrassment for me.
So you're putting it last in C, and I'm putting it first in B. That ain't too much of a difference.
No, it's not too
Okay.
much.
All right. So next up is the Mummy. Okay. So I love Mummy. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So y'all probably already know kind of the area I'm gonna put it in, but I'm so upset that it's closed right now, and I'm ready for it to open back up.
Yeah,
And I'm
I can't
praying.
believe the last time that I wrote it.
Oh my
Honestly,
God.
it feels like it. Like I feel like it's been so long because it's been
Yeah.
under renovation.
And once again, y'all are probably gonna think I'm old, and I swear to y'all, I'm only 29 years old, but I feel like I'm old when I say stuff like this because I always talk about old things in the park.
Back in my day,
Back in my day, we didn't even have stairs. Sorry. Anyways, but um, anyways, but I want Brendan Fraser to stay in the ride, and I'm telling you now, if they take out that scene because they've been working on it for a while, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're changing some of the storyline because it is kind of old from the original Mummy, and now they got this new Mummy movies that it's just not the same. But if
yeah.
they take Brendan Fraser's scene out where he's asking for his cup of coffee, I'm making picket signs and I'm standing outside of the Mummy every day for a year straight. Don't hold me to this because I wouldn't survive. But
Yeah, we all
in my mind, I will be standing outside of the Mummy with picket signs because the Mummy ride, even though it's a great ride, I feel like it wouldn't be the same if it didn't have Brendan Fraser. And I know that sounds silly because all it is his short little scene at the beginning and a short little scene at the end. It has
know.
nothing to do with the actual riding system or anything. But
It's just something that you're used to. It's sentimental
yeah,
to you.
yeah, if they got rid of it, I wouldn't, it just wouldn't be the same. But
Yeah, you would still ride it. It just wouldn't be the same. So
yes, but just like Green Dots, I am a huge fan of indoor dark roller coasters. I'd rather go on an indoor dark roller coaster than a loop de loop outside roller coaster.
hmm.
Just my
Now
opinion.
that is the question because
I love
I
dark
love
rides,
both.
so I love both. Yeah, it's a
Anything
very close,
with a track and a cart,
but
not
dark
me.
ride, it's just to me, it's like you get the best of both. You get the best of a storyline and a roller coaster. So it's just, and you know me, I'm all about the theming and the storyline and the theme. Like I don't, it's just that's just me. So I'm gonna put the Mummy as my four, like fourth place, because it's my one extra that's gonna go in a fourth place. And I'm going to put it between Green Gots and Men in Black. So my no other tier can have four, and my A tier is full. But
Okay.
that's while meanwhile you're over here with one A tier and one B tier.
So I would have to agree with you that I love the Mummy. The Mummy is a great ride. It is, it's really cool that it's in the dark. Um, Now I haven't rode it in a long time because it's been under renovations. I hope that they, open it soon because I really missed the ride. I feel like the Universal is missing a real roller coaster ride. I mean, it still has,
Yeah.
um, the rocket, but I mean,
Yeah.
I know what I'm saying. Like it's just
Mummy's
like
a
an
classic.
additional,
It's just
yeah. So I will put it also in the A tier, but not before Green Dots. It's gonna be right after it, and we'll see if it stays there.
okay. Okay. I can't argue with that. All right. So next is the rocket. You'll have to say the full name because I will butcher it because I do every single time.
It's the Rip Ride Rocket.
Okay. So this is next, and I feel like I already know where you're gonna put this. Me, obviously, it has to go into B or C, but I love Rip Ride Rocket. It's probably it's definitely behind Hagrid's. If I was putting both parks together, it would be behind Hagrid's. And it would probably even be behind the Hulk, just because the Hulk has been around longer than the Rocket. So it's just, I don't know. The Hulk was my very first roller coaster I ever rode in my entire life. Like an actual roller coaster that does loop de loops and corkscrews and all that stuff. The Hulk was my very first roller coaster. So I feel like that kind of gives it a little bit more. But
Um,
I do really love it. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying nothing bad, but I actually have nothing bad to say about Rip Ride Rocket, to be honest. And I really love the fact that you get to pick your own music. I really, really love the fact that it has a secret menu where you can hold down that menu button and then it'll give you the pin and you put the pin in, but make sure you do your research before
yeah.
you ride and you know what
So
numbers to put in.
you hold down the symbol of the Rip Ride Rocket on the screen. It's gonna pop up, like the number pad where you put in a 3-digit code, and it's like a secret playlist where it has songs from like Elton John, Eminem, like it has from the Muppets. Like
Yeah.
they have a lot of additional songs that you can click from,
So that
and
that
I
adds
love
that extra
that
something.
part of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love the interactive part of it for you. It's
So
not you can make it to where it's not the same every time
yeah.
to the music part of it.
Yeah. So it's a great ride. I would it's I would probably put it behind like Hagrid's and the Hulk and Green Gots and all that stuff, obviously. But I would definitely put it before like Everest at Animal Kingdom and stuff like that. So I am going to put it on B tier, and it's also going to take that number one slot for B tier. If I could fit another one in A tier, it would be at the end of my A tier. But
The end,
we're gonna put it as first in B tier.
bless your heart. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So I love the rocket. I love the thrill ride. The roller coaster with the adrenaline going all the way up, where you're staring up to the sky,
Yes.
and then this that down. And then I love that you can pick your song that you ride it to.
Mhm.
And I love, riding it with some people, like say like my dad or my sister who doesn't really prefer that they ride it and just watching them all the time and freak
Mhm.
out.
Oh,
I
can I
love
mention one more thing though?
it.
Also,
Yeah.
just to let y'all know, and I feel like I shouldn't be letting y'all know this if you've never rode it before because it makes it even funner. But I'm gonna tell you anyways. It records you while you're on that ride, and you can actually buy the video at the end of the ride if you want to. So you know how some rides take pictures? This ride records you. So when you are done, even if you don't want to buy it, There's little like little machines, and you can go and watch yourself and whoever you was sitting next to you, because it's a two-seater ride that ride. Just giving you all a little heads up. Don't tell your friend,
Yes.
whoever's riding with you.
There are some people that might not want to look at that. But I'm gonna go ahead and actually put that in my A tier before the Mummy. So behind Green Gods, before the Mummy.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. That's where we stand.
Okay.
And we're right on.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right, let's go on to Simpsons. Simpsons kind of, this is one of those that like it kind of hurts me. Like I feel like it should be higher up because two reasons. One, it's Simpsons. Who does not like The Simpsons?
Yes.
And second, it used to be Back to the Future. So this is another one of them rides. I guess that's a good thing and a bad thing because I am a little salty. A little salty, but it's okay. It's okay. They did a good job with it. Don't get me wrong, the storyline's good. My only issue is that not with me. I think I might be the only person who's rode this ride that can say this, but I have never gotten off of that ride and felt sick afterwards. But everybody else complains about being sick, like feeling nauseous and stuff because the way well, first off, it's like a 3D ride and all that stuff, so that kind of messes with you. Like motion sickness. It gives a lot of people motion sickness. But it doesn't
because
with
on like
me.
how so close you are to the screen and how
I feel that.
the storyline plays out.
Yeah, because it's like a full immersive like screen that kind of domes over you. So you completely feel like you're surrounded by it. Kind of like soaring in Epcot. If you've read that, you would understand.
But not that type of, strain and everything.
Yeah.
You're just sitting in a cart, but the screen is like right there.
Yeah, it's supposed to look like you're in like a cartoony Simpsons roller coaster cart, but it's kind of like Spider-Man. It's kind of like the Spider-Man cart, like
to an extent. Yeah.
Well, I mean, with no seat belts, and you're just kind of on a two benches, and yeah, that's what I mean.
The whole storyline is that you're going to a theme park and riding a roller coaster.
You're going to Krusty Land.
Yeah, Krusty Land with the Simpsons. Yeah, and they are first. You're behind them, and everything plays out from there. I don't want to spoil it too much, but
yeah. So it's never made me sick. So I feel like obviously yours it's probably going to be, unless you use it as your fourth one, it's probably going to be on your B tier. But mine's going to go on the B tier. And it's going to go on third. Don't come at me. Third on my B tier. So it is going behind Jimmy Fallon. I don't know. Like, I really like the ride. Don't get me wrong. I really like it. It's just there's so many good rides at Universal. Yeah. Just like Islands Adventure was. There's so many good rides. I have to put it somewhere. And all the ones before it, I feel like they deserve their spots. So I feel like Simpsons deserves that spot.
Yeah, I would say that the Simpsons, since I love the actual Simpsons, that's what saves it. And I like the idea of you're going to Krusty Land, you're going on a roller coaster inside a roller coaster, so it's kind of weird.
And you see all the characters too, like all the characters in Simpsons. You see every single one of them.
Yeah. Now I am one person that has gotten off and have had to stand there for a second and just try to calm down. It did make me nauseous. But I'm not the type of person that say, "Oh, I'm never going to ride that ride again." It's because of the theme of the Simpsons. I would ride it again. So I would put it in my B. The question is, would it be before or after Jimmy Fallon?
Yeah, because now I'm starting to make you enjoy Jimmy Fallon a little bit more. So I don't know.
I just think of the possibility for having Queen Latifah and attacking Jimmy Fallon. But then again, I love The Simpsons. Mm-hmm. This is a hard one, actually.
Well, technically, okay, I shouldn't be trying to help The Simpsons out. But technically, Jimmy Fallon, I don't want you to pick it off of the possibility because it is just
Yeah,
a possibility. It isn't actually there.
yeah, it's not.
So,
Um, Interesting. I'll put it before Jimmy Fallon.
oh, okay, okay, okay.
And
Yeah,
plus, how you say you're salty about a ride.
yeah,
I'm a little bit salty on Jimmy Fallon because it was used to be
it
the
was
Twister,
Twister.
and I
Yeah,
used to like I grew up on the movie Twister from my mom, and I love the
that's
movie,
true.
and so
That's true. Okay, so next is Transformers. Okay, guys, so
let's spill the tea on this one.
this is one of those rides that I have not rode yet. Um, in my defense, I did grow up at Universal, so like from like age, oh God, probably like age 6 to like age 17 because I spent my 17th birthday at Universal with Carrie, which is Junior's sister. So I did spend like my whole childhood going to Universal. Probably Universal's more than Disney even. Um, so I did spend a lot of time there, so that's why it is a little confusing that there are some rides I haven't rode. Um, but if you do pay attention to the ones I haven't rode, um, they are newer rides and not necessarily newer. Like I know Transformers isn't newer, but it's new since that gap in my life where I wasn't going to the parks. Just because I was having babies and it just wasn't in my time, to go. Um,
Time to take them to Disney because it's more
yeah,
kid friendly.
yeah. So we kind of switched to Disney and everything, but so that's when Transformers come out. So since I've just started kind of recently going back in the past year, I have yet to ride Transformers, and I could have rode it one of these trips. I just chose not to because June. There's a couple of things we're holding on to for me
Yeah,
and Junior to experience for together.
together.
Um, and Velocicoaster, neither one of us has rode it. That's why we've been holding out on that one. And then Transformers, Junior has rode it, right? You
Yes,
have,
I have many
but
times.
he just wants to have that moment of us riding a
I
ride
also
that I
basically
haven't
want to
rode.
watch her reaction. Yeah,
Yeah,
I want to be able to like write it, but still like look at you and see your
yeah.
reaction to it.
Now I have okay. Now this is let me explain how I'm doing my ranking then, since I haven't rode it. Just like Velocicoaster, I'm going to do it the same way. I'm going to do it based off with the POV, um, and what I would think based off of the POV and like the theming and stuff. So from the POVs, it looks a lot like Spider-Man. Like it looks so much like Spider-Man, but Transformers theme. So Spider-Man was what, number one, I believe? Was it number one on my B tier? Yeah, yeah, it was.
Yes.
Um, so y'all know that I love that kind of ride. Obviously, I love dark rides. Um, but I've never been a fan of Transformers. It's just, it's not that it's a bad thing. I did like watching Shia LaBeouf in the first one because I've always been a fan of Shia LaBeouf ever since he was in even Stevens and stuff. Um, so I liked that movie, the first two movies. He might have been in three, but I think it was just two. Um, just because he was in it, and I think he's hilarious. But other than that, if he wouldn't have been in it, I probably wouldn't have watched him. Just like these other ones since him, I haven't watched them because I'm just not a Transformer fan. So basing off of, it's a lot like Simpsons, or not like Simpsons, like Spider-Man, but Transformer theme. I'm going to put it in my C tier, obviously, because that's all that's left. But it's going after the Hogwarts Express. Um,
I
it's just
mean, I'm surprised, but
I haven't rode it yet, and I'm not a Transformers fan, so I mean,
uh,
you gotta take that into
um,
account. It might change. It might
so
change after I ride it. You never know.
yeah, so I have rode that ride before. I am not the biggest Transformers fan, but I would still say I'm somewhat of a fan. And I feel like out of a lot of the rides that Universal Studios has, I've already listed, my favorites in the A's. This would be one that I would consider my style type of ride. I would somewhat say. So I would honestly go ahead and put Transformers in my A uh, category, but behind the Mummy.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. I can't argue with that. Okay, so next is Woody Woodpecker's. This is another one
What
I
do you
really
want?
don't know the full name for. Um, it's the Woody Woodpecker coaster, is all I call it. Um, you know. So this ride has been around for a very long time. I remember being a very small kid and riding it for the first time. Um, so it kind of has some sentimental feelings.
I mean, it has some, and it has like a little bit of like dad jokes written on the thing,
Yeah, yeah, it's got like little dad jokes
like
all over the place when you're in
riddles.
the
Yeah,
queue. And a lot of people tend to not even notice this ride because it's
yeah.
kind of tucked away in the back of the park. If
I would
you
make a joke, but
a
once they
lot,
see ET, they just no.
but a lot of people a lot of people like completely go past that part of the park. And there's some good stuff back there. It's not just for little kids. If
Honestly, how some people skip that part of the park is like me going down with the Hollywood Boulevard with like the Jason Bourne Spectacular. Like
yeah,
I don't even remember the last time I've been back there. Honestly,
yeah. That's because that's where ET and Men in Black is, and you're just like, eh. Okay.
I just get
So,
to
so the Woody Woodpecker coaster is behind ET, kind of, sort of, but it's right before you get into Simpsons. There's a little path to your right. If you go down that path, okay, there's a lot of goodies back there. That's where the Woody Woodpecker coaster is. That's where ET is. That's where the DreamWorks show is, which is where you can go and meet DreamWorks characters. So like Puss in Boots and Guy Diamond and right now that's where Fiona and Shrek is meeting at, all that kind of stuff. Anyways, and then if you go even farther back, there's like this big play area, and it's like a water area. There's a lot of water. It's for little kids mostly, but adults can go. It's not like it's restricted. Adults can go in there, and it's a nice spot to cool off. But also hidden in all that, there's a big ball room. It has a bunch of little balls in it, and you can go in there and throw the balls around. There's like vacuum guns that you can like suck up the
yeah,
balls into and shoot them across the room. It's a lot of fun. But that's where the Woody Woodpecker coaster is. So a lot of people don't really see it. And it is an older ride. It's a kid little roller coaster. But it's cute. It's nice to do with kids if your kids are still scared to get on the big rides, but they're like you're just still trying to get them to try something. That's a
yeah,
good ride. Um, and technically, it is still a roller coaster. It's really nice.
yeah. It technically is.
I'm going
Um,
to put it in my C tier, obviously, because that's my only
okay.
place to go. But I'm going to stick it right in the middle. Um, I'm putting it behind Hogwarts Express because I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, so I don't feel like it should go in
Okay.
front of that. Um, but I'm putting it before Transformers just because I've never rode Transformers.
Okay.
Now, if I ride Transformers, it might move. It might go to the beginning of C tier. It might
Yeah.
even bump up to B tier. So
Yeah.
we're good
I,
with that.
I feel you on that. I mean, honestly, I haven't been on the Woody Woodpecker ride in a while. I haven't, so I mean, it's like kind of like a somewhat of a lost memory. Um, Now technically, I would say that it's technically still a roller coaster, so that's my type of ride. So
Woody Woodpecker is your
I
type
might
of
need
ride.
to
I'll
find,
remember that.
yeah. So I might need to find an excuse to ride it again.
Oh,
Um,
we're gonna ride it. You and me are
oh
we
yeah,
might look like a bunch of idiots just being two grown about said it junior about said it grown people just riding on a kiddie roller coaster just like
yeah.
because we're gonna have our arms up in the air, we're gonna be hollering the
Oh
whole
yeah.
time, we're gonna
I
be
would
over
live my
dramatic.
best life.
Yeah,
I would
so
live my best life. Okay. But I would put it in B behind Jimmy Fallon.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
just because of the style of ride, not the ride
Yeah.
itself. Anything with a track and a car, man, I
Yeah.
will count me in.
Are you happy with your list?
Yeah, I think I am. I know for sure the A list and the bottom list. So like A and D, I'm for sure good with.
For
I'm
sure.
okay. Yes, I'm definitely good for D.
Okay.
Don't even try.
I tried. I tried.
If there was a one below it, I would move them again. That's how it is. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. You guys, this will
Um,
be our last vlog. Sorry,
yeah.
we won't be doing any more together.
No. Um, yeah. I mean, I think I'm happy with it. What about you?
Um, yeah, I'm happy. I wish, I don't know, like I'm always gonna feel like there's some that I wish I could add to another tier. I just don't have room for it. So I feel bad saying something is a C tier or something's a B tier when in
Yeah,
all
you should.
actuality it just can't fit on A tier. But if it did go on A tier,
Or
it
if
would
it
be
was swap,
last. Yeah, it would be it would be last still. It would still be
you
behind
can
the other
you
stuff.
can swap one
No, I'm
or two.
good. No, I'm good.
Because the rocket
I
does not deserve to be a B.
no, I'm good. I'm very happy with my choices.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hey, as
I'm
long as
happy.
you're happy, then that's something that matters, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
either
Okay.
way, we're gonna have a lot of fun in the park. So
Yes, and I think like every couple years, as long as we're still making vlogs and stuff like that, we should do this again and add
yes,
in whatever rides
update
come
it.
between now and then. And eventually we'll be able to do one for Epic Universe. Um,
Oh yes, I
eventually
remember
we will
that.
do one for Volcano Bay. I just feel like
You have
I
an
need more,
experience with
yeah,
to go
I need
into it.
more time in Volcano Bay before I feel equipped enough
Well,
to make a
we'll
list.
see. Maybe after the bachelorette party.
Yeah, maybe after all these trips in August and September. But I'm good. I like it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. We're good. Good. We did it. We did it. Another list down. High five through the camera. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we did it. All right. Okay, so I hope everybody enjoyed these vlogs and just like the other one, Islands of Adventure will be on Edwin's Adventures page and Universal will be on mine, obviously, because you'll be watching it there. So make sure you check both of those out. Make sure you like both of them. You subscribe to both our pages if you haven't already. Leave those comments. Make sure you really like so we could do that Men in Black challenge. Um, and make sure you comment telling us not only um, for the purposes that we had done said before that I can't remember right this second, but I'll know later when I watch it. Um, and make sure you comment and let us know what your list would be or
Yes.
who actually what I really want y'all to comment is I want y'all to comment and tell me whose list you agree with more. That would make me happier. Like you can
Yeah.
still comment your things, but I want to know if you're more of an Edwin or a Sammie. That's what we need to know.
Yeah, and like Sammie C said, is that we want you to like, subscribe, and share, and ring that bell to get notified when we make more vlogs because we have some coming up in August and September, actually in the parks, no longer over Zoom because I will be out of Cuba and back in Orlando. And I mean, yeah, and just like the video, so hopefully we may or may not do her Men in Black challenge and my Simpsons challenge, and yeah, and just comment to see on this video to see whose tier you would agree with more. Post how you would do it. We will be posting the link in the description of these tiers that I have made, and we want to know from you if you like the video, whose you agree with more, and we can hopefully make some more for it.
Sounds good to me. I'm ready to see how many people agree with me over you.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, guys, just remember to be kind, be helpful, and keep moving forward. We love you.
And just remember that laughter is timeless, imagination has no age, and dreams are forever. Much love to you. Nugget power. Nugget power rolls.